Hey guys, as I'm sharing some thrifting videos, I also wanted to go into a little bit more depth of my Depop reselling process. So thought I'd take you guys along this week. We're going to do everything from sourcing to listing, taking pictures, and then even packing things up and taking them to the post office. I just filmed a little short with the items that sold in the past 48 hours over the weekend, which I'll be taking to the post office now. And while I'm out, I'm going to make a quick sourcing trip. Honestly, I don't really need to source anything right now, but since I'm filming this video, I'm giving myself a $10 budget. We'll see what we bring home. Today I'm going to take you guys through the photographing and maybe a little bit of the listing process. And in order to do that, I need to show you what I sourced. So like I think I mentioned, it was a very limited sourcing trip. I've been a lot lately, and I also was just given a bag of clothes from a friend who did a closet clean out to go through, and my death pile is death piling, y'all. I was holding on to a lot of the 100 items in order to make a haul video, and so I really need to photograph and list a ton of those, and that's literally like 100 things. So I kept myself to a budget. Actually, I did not stick to it. I told myself I was going to get 5 things, which would be $10. I ended up getting 8 things, so it was $16, rounded up for a tip, so 17. But one of the items, I'll show you first, is for one of my friends. She's looking to build out her summer wardrobe. I thought it was just a beautiful, flowy, drapey white tank top, and I'm going to get the stains out and then pass it on to her. So this doesn't really count as breaking the budget. There's also, each piece was $2. So did it break the budget? No. I'm going to try all these on. That's part of my listing, like photographing process. So you'll see them on. Let's see if you guys trust the vision. Do we have a vision? I don't know. I literally have done no research on these yet, but they're 100% cotton. It's a fun spring print. The brand is Jockey, size large. I'm not sure if they're low-rise wide leg pants or if they are like mid-rise capris. We'll find out. Next up, one of the things I was going and looking for were like baby doll tops and dresses. I don't wear the ones that I own enough, so I cleared those out of my closet, and I'll be photographing those to list. But I was also keeping an eye out, and I found this one. This is like just a double whammy steal because of the embroidery on the ruffly sleeves and the hem. And the brand, don't know nothing about it. This is a pure style base. It's part of it's coming off. I think it's Me clothing, size small. I typically list and sell things within my size range, my wearable size range. So extra small to larges typically, with small and medium being the sweet spot, because a whole like chunk of my strategy is trying things on and making my feed on my Depop shop look a little bit like Pinterest. But I want to have a more inclusive shop. So yesterday I was very quick in and out of the thrift store, so I didn't make it through all the rows, and the store I go to is sorted by size. So I think most of these are within the extra small to large range, but I'm expanding my shop, and I just have to figure out a good way to list things and photograph them, because when I try on size extra large or size zeros, they don't give an accurate representation of how it's going to fit the person who's buying it, unless that person is my size. You know what I mean? So I need to figure out a way to keep a cohesive theme on my shop while giving the best representation of the clothes that I'm selling. Let me know if you have any ideas for that. I didn't see that part of the tag, but look at this as a cool Like, it just feels very Y2K. But it's a little mini skirt, a little ruffle, ombre mini skirt. Yeah, spring and summer, baby. Am I tripping? Material tags are usually at the top of pants. They're not like halfway down the leg, right? Oh my goodness. Well, it's a mystery, you guys. I'm thinking they're at least a linen blend, if not 100% linen. And they are Ann Taylor loft pants with the cute button detailing on the pockets. I think they're low rise or mid rise. And the little like cargo pockets on the side, kind of straight leg, wide leg. And they're in great condition for being white pants, except annoying little crotch stain. But I think I can get it out. I believe in myself, but we will not be, well, I'll be trying it on, but I will not be listing it today because I do want to give myself every shot of selling it without stains. So that's funny. I mentioned like shopping within my size, but I actually did pick up, this is a 3X by CJ Banks, the floral midi skirt. I think because it's just a flowy midi skirt, I can pin this like or clip it back, and I'll put the size and like obviously pictures of me holding kind of the true size, but I'll list it with the size it's at, but I think you can still get the visual if I'm wearing it clipped, because it's not going to be, I don't know, you know what I mean. But look at, it's just a beautiful fairy floral print. First up, we have, for 7th up, a baby doll question mark dress. Is this considered baby doll? I think so. And it is from, this was a whole probably 5-minute chunk of the video with no sound. Lily's something. It might say closet in confusing script. It might say doot. But it's a size small and it's 100% cotton. I was saying it looks kind of like handmade, like it just feels like it has the simplicity and the pattern and the kind of pieces with bias tape along seams, where it feels handmade, like somebody who thrifts, you know, like thrifts sheets or clothing and remakes it into something new. Is it Poppy Lou that I'm thinking of? But it says made in China. It has pockets. Bam. Another selling point. But the polka dots and the denim, I thought it was just cute, basic, girly, you know, polka dots are on trend right now, so I picked that piece up. Number 8, we just have this basic open knit mesh sleeveless tank, and it's a cream beige color with metallic gold woven in. So I think this is perfect for festival vibes, perfect for, you know, beachy, boho, coastal, western. It can go so many different ways. Give me layered very cutely over a bikini or a bralette or shirts, or yeah, there's just so many things that can be done with this, and so I'm gonna find the best way to kind of style it. Oh, and the scalloped, y'all, I gotta skip over that. The hemline is so cute. Yeah, I'm gonna find the best way to style it for pictures to give people the vision, but also leave it a little bit like a blank slate when they're shopping. All right, last in the haul, first in my cart though. I'm a sucker for green tank tops, y'all. But isn't it cute? And it's really soft. I thought it was cotton, it's not, but that's fine. It's a size large. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little try on and compare and decide which one I'm gonna end up keeping. The one with this cute little cutout at the neck, or my plain, a little more vibrant green tank. Okay, so that was my quick little sourcing haul, just kind of show you guys, I guess, a little bit of my process. I truly do, when I get the chance, go through every single item on every single rack. And so I guess that yesterday wasn't a good representation of that because I was making a quick trip. I had my toddler, I did have a friend with me, and she kind of helped keep him entertained so I could shop. But typically I don't get to be as thorough as I would like to be, just because keeping a toddler happy and making sure he's not a little hooligan running around destroying the store is important, and keeping track of him too. But I truly just love the process of looking through all the racks, and I was a little bit more selective yesterday because I'm trying to get through my death pile, and I think it worked out for the best. I used the phone you guys are on right now for my Depop pictures, Before I got this phone a couple weeks ago, I was using a DSLR on a tripod, setting a 10-second timer, going click, and then I come over here and I go boom, 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 boom for 10 seconds. Hopefully I got everything. Sometimes I have to do another 10 seconds. I don't do that anymore because as much as I do love, the photographer in me loves like using a camera and importing into Lightroom and having an organized hard drive and editing in Lightroom, exporting them. It was just not efficient. And I had to sit down on my laptop in order to do Depop. Now I keep everything within the phone and I can just take pictures and then upload, like even if I'm in the car, you know, I don't have to do any editing really, maybe cropping, but I just upload them to Depop wherever I'm at with the convenience of my phone. So you guys are going to be maybe taking a quality hit while I use an old phone to video because this one she's set up for my pictures. But you guys will still see the process and hopefully it's not too bad. This is my kind of goal pile to get through today. It's probably not realistic, but I think I'm gonna for sure do the stuff I thrifted yesterday that's not stained. Oh, that green tank top has a stain, y'all, a bleach stain. It might have to, like, I'll see which neckline I like better. And I might just sell it for cheap or I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so one of the things that are important about getting pictures is making sure the lighting's nice. And so I have doors out to the balcony that are mostly window, and we never get any direct sun to them, so it could be better, but honestly, I will take all the natural light I can get, and this is what I can get, and I am grateful for it. So I'm gonna just adjust the blinds real quick and kind of use them like mini reflectors to bounce light at the best angle at my spot. I'm also going to pop this open. It's not really going to be in the pictures, so it being a somewhat glossy white surface will also help bounce light back in from this side. Sometimes I get real crazy and I pull out some white poster board and set it up against the couch to bounce light back in. I don't think I'm going to do that today, but I will adjust the blinds real quick. Okay, so in the style section, if you have an iPhone, I have it just in standard and a little bit brighter and a little bit more saturation. Aspect ratio, I think Depop is shifting away from the square grid like Instagram, but for now, I find it's easier still to just shoot in square because sometimes it does show it that way, and it's better to have excess on the sides that are cut out when it's made a rectangle than pieces of your clothes cut out when it becomes a square. Yeah, so those are the settings I have. I also set up on this phone a voice command in the accessibility section. So whenever I have the photo app open and I have voice control on like it is right now, I can say, take a picture. Oh my gosh, take a picture. And it like saved my touching the screen whenever I made the command right where the button is, and so then it like repeats that gesture basically every time I say the phrase, and so I don't have to set a timer and I don't have to have a Bluetooth clicker. It just takes pictures as I go. So this is my POV as I am standing and taking pictures. Can you see see where I am in the frame? And I will just say, take a picture. Oh, I don't think it works when I say in a sentence. Okay, try this. Take a picture. There we go. And then it snaps a picture. So I will do different posing. Right now, this was more for the skirt, so I might tilt it a little down to cut out my face. Yeah, I might scoot it in. I always have it at like 1.2 to 1.5 zoom because that helps the depth of field look sharp and gives me some separation from the background. I can also come up and stand here, but then I block the whole pretty background, and that's like my favorite part. So I'll probably move my phone a little bit more towards me to get it less face, more clothes. This is my Depop closet. recently changed it over from being Depop inventory, unlisted inventory, and then all the family stuff like toolboxes and strollers and I don't know, you know, all the random things, extension cords, bungee cords. So these 2 boxes are listed inventory, and I had them sorted kind of by style aesthetics. When I was doing Depop, or when I was doing Whatnot, is when I changed to using just this closet. And so I reorganized all my inventory, and honestly there's probably some unlisted things in both of those just because I was running them in Whatnot shows by theme. So I'll probably just check through that, make sure all the stuff in there is listed. This one is half of my 100 item haul. This tub is the other half of the 100 item haul plus a couple other recent pickups. Same, this bag, actually I think it's like probably a little older, but that was sorted out for Whatnot themed. This box is my vintage / grandma core box from Whatnot, but it is mostly listed inventory. These are new things to take pictures of. These are unlisted things to take pictures of. And then these are sweatshirts, jackets, and coats to take pictures of, but I don't really feel like doing that at this time of year anymore. I think I missed the window on that, so those might just sit until fall comes back around. We'll call it my money pile for the fall. This box here is mostly, I think there's a couple random things in the bottom, but it's mostly my recently photographed and listed. So all the stuff I went through yesterday is in here. And the item I sold is also in here. Get a little bit more organized with my system, because right now it relies on my memory to know which box I have put certain items in when they sell. But since my inventory is contained to this closet and the listed inventory is contained to like half of this closet, it's not that difficult to remember. I just know that if I did things, I've seen a system with like bags, using Ziploc bags, and whenever you list it, say I'll be listing the shirt today, in the SKU line on the Depop listing, I would put A4, and then, you know, like I would label this box A and put this in a Ziploc bag that had a number 4 on it. So then I could put it in here, and then whenever it sells, it would tell me A4 sold, so I know exactly which box to go to and know exactly which piece it is. Yeah, that just requires a lot of Ziploc bags. I think I have over 140 active listings right now, and so, you know, and this is manageable. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I got a message from somebody asking for the measurements on a skirt, and I know a lot of resellers will do measurements in their listings. That takes extra time, and I sell a lot of things without having to do that work, and so I don't list measurements, and I just do the measuring when asked. Recalibrating for the day. Inventory reorganization is not going to happen. I need to get out of this house. I need to go somewhere new, somewhere where my child tends to behave a little bit more, I don't know, he does really well in public, so we're gonna maybe see if my friend who works remote today is at a coffee shop, or we're just gonna go to a coffee shop. But first, I need to pack up orders so we can swing by the post office on the way. Okay, so I have 3 things from the last 24-ish hours. I think I already showed y'all these 2 items. So before I had a car at home with me on weekdays, I could only make it to the post office every now and then, and so my shipping, it could be same day or it could be 7 days or 6 days. I like to try to get things to the post office as fast as possible. 1, because who wants to wait on their package for forever? 2, it helps my shop, and it tells people like how long on average it takes for me to get things in mail, and so people are more willing to spend money if they know that they're going to be getting their item faster. And number 3, I have to wait on the money until a couple days after the person gets their item. So the faster I get things in the mail, the faster that money gets into my bank account. I typically use just poly mailers. I like to buy compostable ones off of Amazon, usually at 75 or 100 pack. There are fun prints, but I'm trying to save money right now, so I've just been getting solid colors. And I had to buy just the non-compostable, like 25 packs at Walmart when the Amazon package was delayed a couple weeks ago. So I am using those up, and then I'll get back to using my normal compostable poly mailers. But I got a 9x6 pack and a 12 by 15.5, and then typically I use 10 by 13s for the first year of having my shop. This is all I used. I guess I was lucky I could fit most things in there, and I just save boxes and shipping materials whenever we get packages in the mail from Amazon or something like that, or like bubble mailers, and cover the shipping label and put a new shipping label on. And that's an affordable way to do things if you don't want to, if you are getting a lot of mail or packages anyways and you don't want to buy shipping materials, that's where you can do it. You know, if you're gonna be putting like my address or your name, you know, on packages to be shipped by strangers, it kind of makes sense to use a different last name. But the fact that the postmen are gonna be reading that, you know, it'll probably make them laugh too. That's awesome. Sometimes I will pack orders whenever they come in. I'll usually grab them out of the closet when they come in and set them out on the counter by the door so I can like visually see that I have things to take to the post office. I am an ADHD gal and I love DEPOP, so I don't usually forget about it, but if it's out of sight, sometimes it does just slip my mind. So I try to leave things out where I can see them by our door, either in the packages already or just set out, and then I'll package them like right now when I'm heading to the post office. I don't have a label printer at home. That's not an investment I've made yet. And honestly, that's like one of the reasons I love Depop, is that you don't have to make that startup investment and you can still print labels for free at the post office. So let's see who this one's going to. I package things at home and then I write in Sharpie. I check the shipping label in the Depop app and write the person's name in Sharpie. Using black Sharpie on a black package is not the best way to do it, but I didn't have black packaging until recently and it still works. You can see, you just have to hold it right in the light. But that way, whenever I go to the post office, I'll either use the self-serve kiosk, print out all the labels, and then go set up on a counter and stick each of the labels on, matching the names, or I will go up to the counter with help from the person. And basically, if you like go to the counter, because my local list post office doesn't have a self-serve kiosk, you just say, I have QR codes to scan to send out some packages, and then you pick a package, pull up the corresponding QR code, give the package to the worker, they'll put it on a scale and scan your QR code, and then they'll print the label, scan the label, put it on the package, and then get it out to be shipped. I guess this is a part of the process I didn't really mention during the listing part, but I followed Depop. I think they used to have recommendations where it's saying like, oh, dresses will fall under this shipping category, shirts will fall under this shipping category, jewelry falls under the small list, and pants and shoes and so on. I found that a lot of that was not actually accurate. Like, depending on sizing, of course. I would have dresses that, if they were super light, airy sundresses, fit perfectly within the smallest category, and so people would be paying $5 shipping instead of $8 shipping. So I have over the years, over the past year, kind of just developed a better idea of how much something weighs and what shipping category to put it in for that. But I also, if I really want to check, if somebody asks me like, hey, is there any way I can lower shipping? I'll be like, hey, let me check. I use a food scale. I put a plate on there, zero it out, and then I put the clothes If you're using boxes, you might want to make sure you include like the box weight, but for poly mailers, it's negligible weight. Put the clothing item on there, see how many ounces it is, and then pick accordingly on the Depop app which shipping profile it belongs in. So that's the way I feel like I am able to give people a better deal on shipping, because I don't just go by the recommended. If you're using like the new AI auto-generate listing tools, it will pick a shipping weight that it thinks is accurate. And I always double check that, just because, like I said, it's not always super accurate. And I want to give anyone who's buying from my shop the best deal I possibly can, without overstepping like the post office limit. Okay, these are packed up, labeled with the names. Oh wait, I was gonna see where these packages are going to, because I feel like that's always a fun part of shipping things out. You never know what part of the country. So this is going to Kentucky. Another one of the items is going to Alaska. See? That's so dope. I think I sell a lot to New York and California too. So the packages are going out to Kentucky, Alaska, and Mississippi. All from right here in my bedroom. Ain't that crazy? Alrighty, I'm gonna put these in a bag. I don't think my friend's texting me back about whether she's at a coffee shop or not, so I'm just gonna go to the post office and decide where to go from there. Alright, well, if you made it this far, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching the process. I hope you learned something. If you have any specific questions about the process, please leave them in the comments. And I plan on making more videos in the future, along with hopefully branching into some new platforms to sell on. Coming up soon will be a video on my first week on Whatnot. And I feel like I learned so much. And honestly, I think I had a successful week if you just look at them like money made versus money spent, but I could have made so much more if I went into it prepared, and so I want to give you guys those tips and tricks. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you feel like you learned something, support, and I'll keep bringing more educational content and just stay in the life of a part-time reseller / stay-at-home mom, and on the other side hustles in life. I'm hungry.